Are we there yet? Are we there yet? This was the cry of myself and my siblings every time we went on a long family journey. Are we there yet? It seemed like an endless journey. Eventually we would get there, and finally we'd look at each other and say, finally we're here. As if it was some sojourn in the desert like the Israelites took out of Egypt. And while it didn't take 40 years or even 40 days or even 40 hours, it seemed that way, to us. It seemed like an endless journey. And it seems this way to the Israelites as they are making their way from bondage to freedom, from the desert to the promised land, from slavery to the desert to the promised land. Their frustration is at a boiling point. And they start grumbling against Moses and against God. And in doing so, they sin against God because they doubt in God's goodness, they doubt in God's mercy, they doubt in God's power, the power that freed them from the hands of the Egyptians, the power that gives them the courage to move into freedom, and the freedom itself is a gift from God, the freedom that they will one day enjoy. But at this time, they're still in the traveling mode, and so their frustration is building and growing. And they complain so much that they sin against God. And for that, the Lord sends serpents to bite them. And they realize the error of their ways. When they see their brethren die, they see the error of their ways, and they recognize this, and they cry out to Moses, "We have sinned against God. Help us to pray to deliver us from this peril." And he does so by mounting a sour serpent, and whoever looks upon the sour serpent lives. So God sends his mercy to them. He sends his healing love. And this act of lifting up the serpent will be mirrored in a way when the serpent is lifted up on the pole. The Israelites are healed. And when Jesus himself is lifted up, we are healed. When Jesus is lifted high on the cross, we come to recognize, we come to realize that he is doing the will of the Father, and that he is who he says he is. Which is why to the Pharisees, he speaks in that present tense. That same phraseology that God used at the burning bush, it's the same phraseology that Jesus uses in today's gospel. "For if you do not believe that I am," he says, "you will die in your sins." And to emphasize the point again, he says, "When you lift up the Son of Man, then you will realize that I am." It is that present tense, it is the God of the present moment that we rely on ourselves, on our own journey of faith. And like the Israelites, we too can lose sight of the goal. We too can lose sight of God's hand in our lives, and we can at times complain against God. But we come to recognize God's mercy when we unite ourselves with the God of the present moment, when we unite ourselves with the God who is the great I am. And Jesus, for his part, unites himself with the Father by proclaiming himself as the great I am for the people. And when he does this, he not only unites himself with the Father, but he also expresses his divinity. For when Jesus speaks in the present moment, he's helping us to recognize that no matter what the age, no matter what the time in salvation history, Jesus is with us. He was with the people as they came to believe in him. He was with the people when he was lifted up on the cross. He was with the people when he rose from the dead. He was with the people when he ascended to the Father. And he is with us now. In all of these moments, he is the God of the present moment. For wherever we are, he is. And when he proclaims himself to be the great I am, we come to recognize that the same God who freed the Israelites from bondage of slavery at the hand of the Egyptians and brought them into the promised land is the same God who walks with us on our journey of faith. So, my brothers and sisters, may we have the courage to recognize the God of the present moment. May we come to recognize the great I am and be with him here and now.